And Aaron, you have not seen anything. Anything. So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering, or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. I noticed after a while that when these guys overcome their anger, they have amazing ideas about starting a business, but because they've been told that if you don't get a loan from the bank, or if you don't have a 5-year plan, or if you don't do this, and it's just simply not true, it's the first step. With faith, then all things are possible. So, but the most important thing is to return to the Father. That yearning that you have, that emptiness, that void, is not for more stuff. It's not for more friends. It is a return to the Father, because there's no way you can return to God and be angry at your earthly father. So thank you all so much, right? People around the world donated to Bond at rebuildingtheman.com, or they call 800-411-2663, and we're still committed to pointing the right way for men and women to return to the Father. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby.
You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room,
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border, and then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. You don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby. This is my show. Thanks for tuning in, folks, on this fine Thursday. Pleasure to have you back. We got a bit of a show. We got to get into it. I see all of you. Thank you. Let's welcome the people, okay? If I'm going to ask for decorum, let's show some decorum. Welcome the folks. Say hello. How you doing? I see you in the chat. Rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. Thank you, George. What's up, Homesteader? The Homesteader version. Homesteader knit. Okay, how you doing? Rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. Punchy.tv/Anchor Baby. And of course, the folks here on YouTube. Been watching. How you doing? Welcome. If you got something on your mind, something you want to talk about, you got a question, something, a topic you want to bring up, you're welcome to call. It's 888-775-3773. By all means, you can hold, and we'll get to you. And of course, look, last thing, you don't have to. You don't have to. Okay, Nit, I hit like, Kevin, that's so funny. I was just thinking about you. Or I wasn't just thinking about you, but I think I was just going through my stream from yesterday. I was like, you know what I'm going to tell Kevin next time I see him? Withholding the like is for the newcomers. What was I going to say to you? Why you acting brand new? Why you acting brand new? Psych! Okay, welcome to the stream. We got things to get into, and I want to jump in. We'll get to the super chats. We'll get to everybody. That's buymeacoffee.com/Anchor Baby. My people here on YouTube. Incredible. We're pulling up the show because I got something I want to. I just want to talk about religion a bit. Okay. You've heard it before, maybe, but it's just it had a comment Jesse made had my brain percolating, churning, and I'm like, I was saying something like that. So true. JLP. God has nothing to do with religion. So let me just do this real quick, because this is interesting to me. Let me get on my little soapbox. But not really. Just I find this interesting. We're talking about religion, society. Folks, this is like, the world's been turning since before I was here or whatever. How's that song go? It was always burning. It's the most fascinating thing. Religion. Okay, so God has nothing to do with religion. What do you think? What do y'all think? Sometimes I read things like this, Proverbs, and Proverbs is interesting, right? What does that mean again? I forget what that means again. It matters. The word Proverbs simply means wise sayings or short teachings. Proverbs, I sometimes read stuff like this, and I think to myself, well, that's it. That's just plainly true or something, or even think, and that's not me being dismissive. Things that are plainly true they're the deepest in a sense, and it's your shallowness, or if that's a word. It's how shallow you are that you don't see how deep it is in a sense. That's not me being dismissive, but I sometimes read these things like a soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Proverbs 15. I'm like, that's just true. It's like advice. But did God say this? Some people, I think some people, I'm trying to think of anyone I know, but, they at least come off, at least maybe, I don't know about this, how specific this verse, but I bet you there's people who are like, this is the word. They say it's the word of God, but I think they go this far as well. Like this, God is telling me this. God is telling me to have a soft answer, for it'll turn away wrath. And they'll live by that, okay? Am I lying? You can read the chapter and it's like, I don't know, it seems like wise sayings, wise short sayings. The tongue of the wise commends knowledge, but the mouths of the fools pour out folly. Like, amen, amen. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, keeping watch on the evil and the good. So it's interesting, right? Call it whatever. So yeah, sometimes read these things. I think it's interesting. Obviously, great advice and insightful things about self. It's not just like how to grow food, how to, right? It's like, how do I, what's going on inside of me? How do I deal with people? How do I, like, I know nothing. Well, they wrote this down, actually, right? And I just was thinking to myself, something I've thought before. I'm like, how about I try and collect something here and present it a bit? You know, this general thinking. I'm not like whatever. Like in my scholarly pursuits. Oh Lord, I'm an absolute bull in a china shop here right now. Jeez, just elbowed the mic, threw away the mouse. I swear I'm gentle. Okay, maybe I'm really not. Jeez. Okay. I was thinking about this, and I'm making a joke about scholarly pursuits. I mean, we get a lot of information in the modern age, and I've been around a couple of years, and I can't unsee how religion and all these writings, these old books, just really old writings that they've been around, that they are they're simply answers to like something I call like the society question. Okay. The society question. I don't know if I didn't coin that, I don't think, but essentially, I mean, you have you have the question of society. There are the basics, sure, like growing food and shelter, right? But what about when things get complicated? Big numbers, deceit, laws, famine, war, multiple ethnicities. These writings, and in their core, I think, are a way to get everyone to agree to a rule set. It's a way to get everyone to agree to a rule set. Methods may have changed over time, but for society to hum along, you need some aspect of this. Okay? That's why call it control. The worst characterization of this is like religion is the opium of the masses to control, but you can say that without saying a moral judgment. You know, you can even say that's pretty good, or I don't know, maybe just not bad. But look, that's just stuff I've thought about. Religion, society. That's a far more like a realistic and material view of this whole institution. And that's just been a remix, a building on those things. And to those that maybe don't even think about it, you would think it's like this unbroken chain of this is just the same thing. You know, Christianity. It's just this unbroken chain of the same thing. And no, it's been churning and changing. It died for a long time. People bring it back. Other religions take over. The Roman Empire, right? The Holy Roman Empire pops up, and they're like, "We're bringing it back." You think we're just bringing back Christianity? It was just always here. We're just bringing it back today with Trump in America. No. One of the most famous "we're bringing it back" moments with Christianity was the Holy Roman Empire. So it's how you get society to hum along. I mean, we have, for example, like call it like shallow judgments or views of old writings and old things that seem strange to us today. Oftentimes there are passages, especially in like the Old Testament, the much older writings, that are often confusing and just strange to people, unless you viewed it from this viewpoint that they're answering the question of society and how to get people to agree to things. Okay, the society question. You know, and that's not me being dismissive, but it is interesting to put it in parallel with what Jesse was saying. I mean, God has nothing to do with religion. God himself is pure. I mean, we have to describe him. And religion, on the other hand, is like an artifice built on top of that by people, a human invention. It's not the same I wouldn't say it's the same as knowing God. Okay? These religious writings, they all emerged in historical messes. We'll get to calls here. Thank you. 888-775-3773. All these religious rules and writings, they arose in these churning. I keep saying that. The world's churning, bro. We get it. In these historical messes, okay? Tribes clashing, famines, wars, ethnic groups fighting and mixing. Deceit. So how do you get people to cooperate and don't have the apocalypse come upon you? How do you avoid the apocalypse? Right? The end of the world. How do you avoid the apocalypse? Well, you got to follow God's law, right? But again, that's just I find it endlessly fascinating because it's getting to what Jesse was saying, right? God has nothing to do with religion. And I'm starting to think that more. These are human adaptations, but they're not God. Can you arrive to that logically? Tell me where I'm wrong. I mean, I'm just thinking out loud. 888-775-3773. What else did I want to say? These old writings, sometimes they're bizarre. But like I said, if it makes more sense when you're imposing a rule set. We think of these really old things that are like the caste. I've said this before, but you see how I've collected info. This is my view. This is my view over time. I've spoken to this about this before. It's like you can have a different perspective about like the caste systems, right? India is so archaic and bizarre. You're telling me you literally are just born as the lowest kind and people just treat you terribly? What kind of society is that? A society that attempted to impose order on chaos. May it be folly of man or whatever, but it's what it is, okay? And that's how you get like societies that go down strange paths. Where do you think cannibalism comes from? It was just an answer to the society question in a time of famine and low food and no foreseeable survivability. And yet, man has learned, in a sense, from their past. It's like, you know what? That was not a good answer to the society question. Ain't no cat. Where are the cannibals? Guess eating your own doesn't last, you know. So that's just. Do you see that way? Is that an atheist thing? That's not very Christian. They go, what are you saying? It's just these are just wise writings that people wrote, proverbs. You know. That's what that is. And along the way, I think people find the higher mind, which this I know even less of. I'll just, we're discovering this. But I was thinking about that. I'm like, he said, how can a preacher teach you to think like God? I'm like, what is thinking like God? Now that's super interesting. The higher mind. I bet you at least it's got to be not the lower mind. And what's the lower mind like? Think of religion for a moment. If this is what you have to do to deal with the public, they're rarely going to be individuals, free thinkers or whatever, have love. And that's kind of like the lower mind. So if you can like rise above that, maybe we'll find the higher mind, huh? Because anyways, it's like not a crutch, but it's just something that you use to make you believe and make you act. But what if you were free? Like, what is that, right? So stuff I was thinking about religion. I think about Jesus' story, right? It's like it's like this challenge, just like from the beginning, this challenge to the previous, the prevailing conception of God, religion, spirituality, the Jews' rules, what were they? The Pharisees' rules and all that, and your rules that you guys need, but you could be free right now. Now I'm talking about things I might not even know, so I want to like move on a little bit, but. If I can describe the lower mind a bit, maybe we can start like to rise above it or something. So, anyways, God gives us all the laws and lessons we need through nature. God gives us the ability to use allegory. How do you say that one? And metaphor to apply nature it's in my worldview anyway. That was the first thing I saw. I read it, but it's you guys are getting into the conversation. It could have been a college professor. Yeah, just like do some long expositions on the Bible. I could do it. I could do it in like the great Jordan Peterson's voice. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so amazing. What do you guys think? Keep it practical, buddy. What do you guys think? It's a prison in a sense. And it might help people, but it also implies you could rise above it. Where Jesus tried to get you to go, but then everybody made all these religions and all that after him. It's like, I didn't tell you to do all that. I challenged all that. Anyways, 888. I want to get to my calls. Sorry, I keep looking at that chat. I'll look at you guys in a second. See what you guys are saying, but I want to get to the patient caller here. John out of Kentucky, how you doing, sir? You're on the air.
I'm doing okay.
Right on.
I don't know what you was talking about just a second ago, but I'm glad you took my call.
Nice. Religion,
all right, man. So
did it make any sense at all?
Boring. It was boring. I zoned out.
All right, thanks.
I'm trying to get to the controversial stuff.
Let's go.
That's what I listen for.
That was for other people. Don't worry.
You hung up
that
on Mark
wasn't
the other
for
day
you,
when it got controversial.
But I appreciate it. Go ahead.
You hung up on Mark when it got controversial the other day, so don't hang up on me.
No, I don't have to sit there and get yelled at. I don't have to do that.
That's the way he talks.
I'm not so no promises, sir.
All right, no promises.
Well,
but are you for this war in Iran? Because I can't find any of you conservative guys that are for it.
You said you can't find anyone that's for it?
Yeah.
You saying no conservatives are for it? I feel like Republicans are largely for it. Like in a big way.
Name some of the bigger names that are on TV.
I don't know about that, but like I don't watch like Fox or anything, but when they give you the polls that like 80 something plus Republicans are all agreeing with the war, two things, I'm not surprised, and two, I would have to assume then all the like Sean Hannity's or whatever are feeling the same way. So
okay,
I found that statement I just found it not hard to believe. Conservatives, I do know conservative smart people that are just like, I don't know, I'm making no decision on this. I think Jesse, Hake, they may have like questions with all the critics and they may be playing devil's advocate, but I haven't heard them quite say. In fact, I have not heard them say, those are smart guys I respect. I haven't heard them say they like support the war. So yeah, I don't know.
Like people like Hannity, that they don't go against Trump just like y'all don't go against Trump no matter what he does. But I'm talking about.
Well, do you blame us?
Yes, I blame y'all.
Why?
Because
he's amazing.
Because those people on television and in the Senate and Congress, those conservative types are bought and paid for by Israel. So of course they're going to ride with Trump on this topic right here.
But I'm talking about Trump. I thought you were talking about Trump. You said now you're bringing up the GOP. You're saying the GOP is bought and paid for by Israel. But you said you guys just like anything Trump does, and I'm like, do you blame us? 'Cause I'm talking about Trump.
Yeah, well, in this situation, you don't have to ride with Trump on everything. Like you can make your own mind up on whether this is good for America or not.
That's fine, but that may be true.
Most people,
I'm just saying,
most people don't believe this is
awesome.
good. It's not awesome, man. Y'all just butt kissers. Y'all just butt kissers.
No, sir. My lips don't go near it, but I'm a Christian.
Okay. But most
Aren't you
Americans
the same way?
do not want
How
to
dare
go.
you?
No, man, this is stupid, man. This
What's
is stupid. Going to war with Iran, even the soldiers don't want to go fight for Israel, man. They know what kind of people run Israel over there. Nobody wants to go over there and fight in this war that should never happen and have family members die for some stupid crap. Nobody wants that.
But I'm not convinced.
But y'all saying y'all don't know.
I'm not convinced by that one.
But you don't have to be
like
convinced.
I'd like to. That's why the show's an open forum, but I'm not necessarily convinced with that. You kind of brought up two things, which is one, that it's just a war for Israel or whatever, and it's totally the Jews, and that this is like a red line. And I would like to get into it. And two, that the soldiers don't want to. Like, I just don't buy this stuff. You know,
you don't
did
buy
they not
anything
want to
that
go
goes
to
against
Ukraine?
what Trump says.
Was Ukraine a red line in the sand? Hey, no, it's time to turn on Trump. What is this? This is not America. Why didn't everybody do that for Ukraine?
Hey, do you remember when Trump was trying to tell Bibi Netanyahu and Israel not to get into it with who was it? Ukraine, you say? Ukraine. Who was the other that we dropped bombs on?
What do you say?
Or they dropped bombs on?
Say again. What are you referencing?
What was that situation where Ukraine and because I don't keep up with politics the way you do. It was a situation where Ukraine and the other country. What's that other country?
Russia?
No, not Russia.
Wait, are you describing like a moment that there was like diplomatic tension between Israel and America?
When Trump told Netanyahu
Qatar?
ceasefire, and he bombed anyway,
Qatar.
and Trump couldn't do anything about it.
Qatar or something like that? I mean, I think there may have been a few moments like that. But I'm remembering, I think it was Qatar, and that's an ally, for example. And I think Israel sent a missile that way, and Trump was like, "Whoa, like that's our ally. Why are you challenging their sovereignty? What the heck is this?"
Doesn't that show that Trump really don't have no power over Bibi Netanyahu? And it's the other way around. Because he's doing the bidding for him right now. He's doing all the bombing for him right now, man. He shouldn't be doing Netanyahu's bids. He shouldn't be doing that. If he's America first, right?
I gotta say that that's not convincing, because it could also not be that, because it could very well be that, and it sounds like we both entered a space we don't know, because it's like there's all sorts of moments where we're talking about, we can agree that maybe there's two agendas that are conflicting, but that's what you said is not a conclusive for me that it's one side or the other.
From a regular person who doesn't study politics the way y'all do and get ready for y'all show and to debate callers. Yeah. America used to be a country where everybody wanted to come and everybody thought we were so great, but now we're just we're just so evil. Nobody likes us. Where everybody's opinion of us is negative.
And it was this.
That's not putting us in
Iran that did this.
Man. Iran did what?
This event with Iran is what did that? What you're talking about? Everyone hating us or something?
Well, it puts it over the edge. It puts it over the edge. It's just showing we're throwing our muscle around. We shouldn't be over there killing people, man.
It just seems like a strange. Position to care about. Like, it seems like an all of a sudden position to have. Because consider for a moment, like, when is America like not hated? Like, the world hates America. They hate white people. You hate America. You talk all this stuff about America. And you're like, hey, man, I don't like how our I could be getting you a little wrong, because I know that you grew up here. So, like, I think you do. Maybe you'll be a little nationalist, but
I love the America that, I grew up seeing. I don't like the America, the negative side of it. Like, I know that we always start crap to go into wars for false reasons. I know that America is corrupt. I don't follow America like there's some type of righteous, sit up on the hill, like righteous country. I don't look at us like that. So I love the America that I grew up in my bubble. I know the truth about America as a country. It's a corrupt country. It always has been. It's a murderous country. Anytime they want something, they set up some type of lie and they go take it. We're not.
So what is it that they should have done? How should America be up? I know it's a big or maybe general question, but maybe you could just answer in general. And it feels like you're painting this picture of America corruptly starting wars across the world. How would you say they should have operated in the world. Should there be no war? Is there no conflict in the world? What is it that should have been done?
It just shows how evil white people is because y'all have always been.
So this is where you lose, right? It's like
white people run the country.
I'm glad I asked the question because now
white people run the country. Nick.
Now it's like why? What'd you say?
I said white people run the country. It's okay to say that the United States is evil because of white people. It's okay to say that. That's the truth.
But now you reveal that your thinking is flawed and
no, it's not, man. Just because you love white people,
silly.
You want to. Well,
right, because
silly,
it's like
know what to do.
we're trying to have a conversation about maybe bad actions that America has had and that you have criticism of. But with that comment, you reveal that you actually have no clue about what they've done that's right or wrong. You just have this general impression, and your general impression. Hold on, your general impression.
I know
you just revealed the core, what informs that general impression, which is racism and white people.
No, I wouldn't say racism, just pure evil.
Right. So thank you. Yeah, this is a nonsense.
Do you think Iranians, everyday Iranians, are just bad, evil people?
I don't think so.
You said you would think so?
No.
You said
I said I don't think like that. No.
Okay. So what's the
like in general,
reason?
right? I think the world is evil, right? Like I guess we could get into it, but no, I don't. I never thought to myself, Iranian people, yeah, those are some evil people. Like no.
Do you think they have a good reason to look at us as an evil country, Iranian people?
I mean, I have the right, but they're just as nutty as you. They think it's racism, colonialism.
Right. You're nutty.
They go to Nakba and they have silly things that have nothing to do with right now and real things that matter to pragmatic people. You know, they just have a general vibe like you. You know, you're like, no. It would have made more sense if you could tell. It's like, no, America's evil and they're corrupt because, they did this and all that. But when we get to the material part, you just go to some general vibe. And, sir,
don't you
you've
think
already
America's
revealed.
Evil and corrupt?
You said what?
Don't you think America is evil and corrupt?
Yeah, there's corruption for sure. Yeah.
But do you think we're evil?
It seems corrupt. I mean, look, you can't protect the borders. You can't do these things that seem to be for America. It's been going on for decades.
Do you think politically we're evil?
It has to be, right, for that reason. The reasons the things I'm describing are happening is because of incompetent. Incompetent. That's an evil quality. People in the government, 100%. That's politics.
Yeah, and how is Trump like? How is he not part of that evil?
I thought about this. Go ahead.
Why do y'all look at him so perfect and he can't be criticized or held accountable for anything?
I don't think that's me. I gotta say, but I have thought about this.
I disagree.
Hey, whatever. But I have thought about this. It's like,
hey,
it's stuff that I found interesting that I don't know. I just thought about because look, call it my simplicity or lack of knowledge of these things, but and I think a lot of people can relate. I think there's a lot of people like me with lack of knowledge. You have this initial impression. He comes in, he's like, what was up with Iraq? We should have never gone there. And you think this is the end of all wars. This is the end of America involvement in the world. And then you grow up a bit and you realize that's just not the world. That's not realistic.
Who got us into the Iraq war?
I don't know.
Was it false lies by Bibi Netanyahu in Israel?
I don't know.
Man, yes, you do, man. You're too smart, man.
No,
You're too smart for that, man.
Hey, whatever.
Man, y'all just are in denial, man. Y'all know.
Am I too smart or am I in denial? Which one is it? Am I too smart and lying or am I in denial? Which one is it?
Both.
Okay, nonsense
Both,
person.
Man.
Learn
You're
English.
You're smart enough to avoid the truth just so you won't look like you're a dishonest liar.
And what did I do that with?
Because all the wars we went into, none of them are legitimate. It's always been a lie behind us.
That's in fact exactly what I'm trying to have.
Bull crap.
That's in fact exactly what we're conversing on.
All right, man. I gotta go. You're a liar, man.
You're not even following the conversation.
I gotta go, dude. You're a liar, dude.
All right, bye. Thank you, man. 888-775-3773. There's no conflict. No conflict in the world. No enemies. Hey, I just want to progress the convo. I bet you so many agree. Like, you guys were there. You were like, yeah. no conflict or wars or something. But we didn't even know what that meant. But, hey, call screener, where you at? Help me out. No info here. Hey, caller, what's your name and where are you calling from?
You know who it is? Man, that is a ridiculous. That dude just got off the phone asking you 7th grade questions.
Go ahead. What's up, William? William, California.
What's up with your boy asking 7th grade questions?
Wait, like which one?
This nutcase that just got off the phone. You better try, John, you better try to sling some paint on the wall and stick to your pay grade. This is nothing that you do. You don't have the capacity to even ask the questions you ask.
Yes, but am I smarter than a 5th grader, though? 7th grade is...
Man, I'm not talking about that fool, that embarrassment. Dude, you don't even understand what you asking, Nick. Nick, you probably don't know that much about this stuff either. Well,
right, but the point was you're getting it though. Like the point was is like we've obviously entered into stuff that you don't know what you're saying. So why should I?
Don't even know what he's asking. Don't even know what he's asking. Don't even know what he's asking. Who does that? 8-year-old?
So what did he get wrong?
Come on, what this war is and all this. This is an operation. Stupid. You don't know about Congress. You can't go to war without Congress, you dummy. Sling some paint and shut up.
I got to respond to that. We can go. You could keep
He's
going.
He's got a war power, man.
That...
Look, man, he can bomb them for 90 days and then back off. And we're not really at war. Like
all
your friends are talking about going to it. Fools ain't getting drafted. Shut up. And John, why are you even asking what you asking, John? You're stupid. Sling some paint.
Isn't that clear cut, though?
Else, John.
Hold on. Is it that clear cut, William? On that one, I just want to, because then we'll move on. And then
sling some paint, man.
Is it clear cut on that one? I get it. Congress is the one that gets to say war. But is it that clear cut? Like we're just totally not in war because they're the ones. Congress is trying to fight Trump. They're saying, "Hey, he started wars without our help. So is it a war or not?" Also, you have Hillary. You have all these people who've been talking about Iran for decades.
Yeah,
sounds like a long conflict.
Long time, 40-something years, bro.
Sure. I mean, it sounds like
that's a long time, dude.
Sounds like a long, hot and cold and hot war.
Long time.
Unless I'm getting it wrong, it sounds like a hot and then cold and a hot war.
They were talking about being close to getting about 7 or 8 smaller nuclear devices ready to go, and their intelligence. The United States and Israel's intelligence agencies are top notch, dude. They got people on the ground. Why do you think they're finding these people at these buildings? Precisely where they are. And they got spotters, man. They got a good intelligence thing going over there when it comes to finding out what's going on and what to hit and what to do and whatever. They're destroying everything over there. So
I support them, and for sure I wanted the operation. I wanted to go well. I wanted to be sure how they want it to be and all that.
Nick,
don't you think it's a little early to say?
Nick,
that's why you don't hear me saying that. It's like, don't you think it's a little early to say?
Dude, I mean, I was 17 when this garbage started, dude.
Right, but with this war, right, it's just like they're going into the buildings in and out.
And then he's got the Arab
say, don't you think?
Hey, he's got the Arab countries bonding together along with Israel, saying, let's get this over with and everything. So, did you see the ship get the stern blown off of it?
Which ship?
With the Ohio class submarine that knocked off that frigate?
No, I'm not familiar. Man, whose ship got blown up?
Iran's.
Oh, nice.
I think it's like 13 ships they done sunk. So, Margie, what's her name? Kristi Noem just got fired. That's in the news right now, a few minutes ago. By Trump.
Yeah, I saw that. What's that about?
I don't know. She must not been doing what she's supposed to do.
I mean, I saw something about lying.
What you do when you have somebody working? Hey, what you do when you have somebody working for you? It's not personal. If you're not doing what you're supposed to do, you get fired.
I saw someone predicting this after the Minnesota stuff.
I'm not sure. I'll look at it later.
But yeah.
But yeah, man, report some of the damage control over there in the Middle East right now. You'll see. They're going to do what we tell them to do. Is what they're going to do. That's it.
Right on. Nice, William. Me too. I hope so.
That's what they're going to do. What else they going to do?
Entrench themselves and dig in for the long fight.
No. What is Iran? What else are they going to do?
Why are you so sure they won't do that?
They will do it.
They will dig in and entrench for the long fight.
No. They will do what they're told. This is what's going to happen. I'm telling you. Watch and see.
We shall see. I hope so too. I think so. I mean, look,
that's not a maybe.
They've been under economic sanctions for years.
I think they're shut down right now, dude. They have nothing,
right,
no internet. They don't have no internet. They're pretty, dude.
Russia's not coming to help them. China, where's China? Where's Russia? Yeah, you might be
We
right.
cut their oil off. We cut their oil off. Russia and China.
China's busy. Russia's busy. Psh. It's not that
we took their power source.
Yeah.
It's not that simple, but look.
No, I'm with you. Yeah. I hope it goes well.
We took their gas. We just took their gas. They're blockaded. We took their gas, and that's all it is to it. And China and Russia ain't going to do anything about it.
Nice. Willie, man, can you call me again?
Yeah.
Right on. Take care.
All right.
888-775-3773. Yeah, what? I just barely saw that. Christy Noam. But I also saw it was like some drama. She was getting grilled by some Republicans. Axios saying it's Noam exit leaves Trump's mass deportation agenda without its most prominent face amid a public backlash. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're missing much. I don't think we're losing much with Christie. Okay. South Dakota's first female governess. Yeah, I don't think we're missing much. And I heard there was some drama. I'm trying to read this Axios thing, but whatever. 888-775-3773. Where were we? So we were taking a call, talking religion. I do want to get to this. This is going around everywhere, and it's strategy for 2026 going forward. What's happening with the right wing, and a future president? You may have heard his name. You may know him, Nick Fuentes. Now, he's in the news right now, so this is like a bit of a topic, and it's important to, or it has a significance because, like it or hate it, Nick Fuentes is like I'll call it a force. I don't know, a potency, and he's got influence. Like he's got a lot of followers, and they bring his Congress talks about him. They're like bringing up resolutions condemning white supremacy, hate, anti-Semitism, and they're like talking about him. The government's talking about him, like, you know what I mean? Like, what, love it or hate it, like, it's a fact. And he's making a big splash right now, He's saying he's voting Democrat. He's done with the GOP. And he's voting Democrat. He's voting Democrat in 2026 midterms or whatever. He said, the guy read him say 2026. We'll check that in a sec. But we're in it. So midterms are already now. So he's talking about now. He's saying he's voting Democrat. He's unhappy with Trump, unhappy with the Republican Party. They have not delivered. So that's what's going on. People talking about it. And it's somewhat interesting. I already told you why it's important. You're going to see it everywhere. It's going to be significant. The liberals, CNN, they're going to use it as a thing, as a cudgel. You'll see the strategies form, and the shakeup happen. That's why it's interesting. It's a bit of a shakeup. I find this quite fascinating. I find this very interesting. So a lot of people are talking about why he's doing this. Why is he doing this? Why is he doing this? And I'm seeing a whole bunch of these interesting comments that just shows just shallow people. I mean, let's just talk about things. Let's just try and be clear. Let's try and be clear. It sounds like the guy has a show and he says why he's doing things. You can doubt it. You could say that. But I'm noticing, for example, a lot of quick, basically the general notion is like, okay, so this guy is just, there's all sorts of comments. People are very confused. They're all over the internet. They're like, wow, he's a plant. He's being paid. He's a grip. This was live from the get-go. There's all sorts of theories. Like, I mean, personally, I just take what people say, and let it go, just, if you have no reason to doubt. And so people are like, okay, he's just not America first. He's actually like I don't know, a progressive, woke. He's saying he's going to support this James Tallarico guy. And look at his tweets. White skin gives me and every white American immunity from the virus. What's he talking about? I think the virus is like racism. But we spread it everywhere we go through our words, our actions, and our systems. We don't have to be showing symptoms like a white hood or a Confederate flag to be contagious. With the virus, get it? The virus of racism. So Nick Fuentes is going to support a guy like this? That's not very America first. He's right. I think you could dismiss all this. If you're trying to have if you're trying to get like the news, just get like the news, like try and make your own conclusion about stuff. Just know this kind of talk is it's either right, it's either stupid, like unwilling to scrutinize, or just in bad faith, trying to mischaracterize. To be fair, I don't know if I did. I don't think I agree with what I don't think I agree, but to characterize what he's doing more accurately, you'd have to say that he's coming from, at least in his mind, a strategic and realistic, pragmatic viewpoint as opposed to an idealistic one. To him, it's a protest vote. And here we go. What do I got here? I got a couple of clips, some long, some short. Let me see how we do this. It's essentially a protest vote. He's unhappy with the GOP. He's saying, I'm voting Democrat in 2026 because white people can play both sides too. Now, that's a reference. That's in reference to, that's in reference to be, let me think. That's in reference, actually, in particular, I heard him say this. This is why I'm saying this. That's in reference particularly about, I think, not just Jews, but he was talking about Jews. He's saying, like, hey, they're like usually liberal, left-wing. They'll be donating Democrats. All of a sudden, October 7th happens, and now they're right-wing Republicans, Trump supporters, and they get to tell others, well, you know what, you're not conservative. You're actually not a real conservative or whatever. And he's like, nah, I reject that. I think white people can play both sides. And so that's what he's saying with that. The GOP broke every single promise. He says, Epstein file cover-up, regime change war in Iran, and no mass deportations. Like, personally, we've been through, those. I don't characterize it like he does. Like, the Epstein file cover-up is like an impression. You saw Pam Bondi, Kash Patel act that way. You saw Trump say, yeah, I'm not against it, let's do it. And then they slow walk. You could, if that's how you want to negatively characterize it, slow walk the files. And so you're coming up with a conclusion. That's a cover-up. And for me, it's hard to say that there aren't there aren't people who want to cover themselves. It could be as little as just a few, and not like this deep satanic pedophile ring, which there's no evidence of. It could just be like a couple people, or whatever. And but it's really on an impression. This just looks like a cover-up, and you know what? I just haven't been convinced. Regime change war in Iran. Look, I'm not saying I like war. I'm not saying I'm even like have a decision on this war in Iran. But I would like to understand. I would like to know, why is this the big red line? Like, regime change war in Iran. I heard him say, he's like, now this is the last straw. This is the last straw. I'm off it. I'm off Trump. I'm off GOP. This is the last straw. I'm not trying to be facetious, like, for real. Like, why was Iran, like, the big, like, why not Ukraine or any other military operation around the world? I think many, even heavily critical of foreign policy, the Middle East foreign policy, etc., would agree that America has interests, that we want things, okay, and that others may not like what we want, and we'll do it anyways, etc. I'd like to know if there's one thing I think is maybe an interesting conversation is did Trump come to end that whole apparatus? It seems like he has to deal with it. He wasn't this right dictator that's going to rip up the Constitution. So anyways, that's what he's saying. I just don't go with that characterization personally. Like, there's no mass deportations. Like, I already knew it wasn't going to be coming down the streets, but it's already been pretty amazing. The door that's been opened. But that's just my opinion, right? I do like Fuentes. I'm just expressing some of the news here that you're going to see this go around. The GOP must be purged and burned, he's saying. And so I'm just showing you how, all those other characterizations, that's just, he's telling you, and you could disagree, you could think it's crazy, but it is expressed as a strategic, a more realistic response as opposed to idealistic. So you just being fair, right? Like, he's saying it's not because he wants to be a Democrat or wants to be lefty or hates white people or is a communist or no, he wants the GOP. He's unhappy with the GOP, and this is like a what's it called? Like a check on them, And to be quite honest with you folks, if you ask me, I find this quite interesting. Just a shakeup, like it's kind of awesome. Like, the GOP, like, yeah, we love Trump, but you guys know the GOP is like they're like lost. I don't know. You saw those Clinton depositions, like Nancy Mace. What is going on? Like, the GOP is the Democrats' light. We know this, and they still are. That hasn't changed. They're Democrat light. Remember? That hasn't changed, I don't think. Now, there's been a huge shakeup with Trump. I think major. And so all this has been fascinating, endlessly interesting. So this is, I got to say, interesting. I think Hake put it very well. The Groypers, or whatever you guys, the critics, you guys, actually, your voice is heard more than you think. They talk about it in the government. At some point, Trump, GOP admin will have to say, well, hey, our people want this, so we can't do that. And even if I may not know everything that's happening, you see how that's a position that leaves it open to. If Israel's doing something wrong, then the people, right, with their loud voice, will be a check in a sense. So I don't know. I find this all interesting. I may not necessarily agree, but I wouldn't characterize it how these people are characterizing it. He's just like a lefty Democrat. He's just not America first. He likes this James Tallarico guy who hates white people. Like, no, it's not. Don't be silly. So, anyways, that's going to be a thing, if it isn't already, all over conservative. I don't know. Just it's going to be. It'll be a topic. It's going to be a topic. We're in the midterms right now, and that's what's going on. So what else about this? I want to get to my calls, 888-775-3773. There was a number of things he said in the clip of him talking about it. It's a little long, and it's one of those clips that I, part of me even wants to, like, nitpick little things because I have my little take or whatever, but I don't, I'm not going to do that now, so whatever. But there was something fun. There was something interesting. He was saying, like, we got to unite. He was saying we got to, like, unite with, we got to, like, drop this thing about women, like women about, I think he even said, like, black and white and all that. And we got to deal with this occupation. To him, Israel and Jewish occupation of America is more important than any of those other things. And I just don't, now it's like, now that we're talking about what he's really saying, I don't know if I'm convinced personally. Lines are open. We could talk about it. I really don't know. And the reason I don't know, you guys are like, well, how do you not know, Nick? Democrat, Republican, it's all Israel's wars. You guys call in and are not convincing. Like, how is it that you got Clinton, Obama, for decades? Every side of the government has been like, no, we're going to do this stuff. We're going to deal with Iran. We're going to deal with Russia. We're going to deal with China. And no one's stopping us. You tell me the Jews are doing all that? Again, maybe it's super clear for you. You're like, yes, Nick. Yes, it is. 888-775-3773. I'm not convinced. All right, let's get to calls. Let's see what else. Let's get to Anthony out of SoCal. How you doing, Anthony? Appreciate your call. You're on the air.
Hey, Nick. Doing well, man. Can you hear me okay?
Coming in clear?
Nice. Yeah, I wanted to, when it comes to the war, I'm not really going to comment on it much because there's a lot of, you can't really say much about it because there's so many things going on. It's not really like, so I'm just going to talk about things I could talk about.
By all means.
Who do you think which U.S. president dedicated the most funding to Israel?
Oh, I don't know.
Any guesses?
No clue. Guesses? I'm just an anchor, baby. Well, what presidents were there before? No, I know more presidents than I'm giving myself credit. I mean, there's no presidents before Bush in my mind. No. Trump? No. Who?
So
I really don't know. I have no clue.
I'm going. Yeah. So I'm approaching this. I'm asking this question with the intention to kind of entertain the idea that Trump is controlled by Israel. And my statement on that is, I don't think he is. I think that there's, even since the 70s, Western powers have had a pretty decent interest in Israel. As you know, Israel was, it wasn't like founded by, let's just say the Mossad was started by the CIA and MI5 back in the day. So it's not like the U.S., is totally controlled by them. I think there's a lot going on behind the scenes that we're not really aware of. But anyways, my point is I don't think Trump is controlled by Israel because when you look at the funding back in 2016, back in 2016, Obama, little boy Obama, he gave a record military aid package to Israel for a 10-year period, which is pretty standard. The last president who did that was Bush, and it was from, I forgot the period. But anyways, back in 2016, Obama signed a record $38 billion military aid package to Israel for a 10-year period from 2019 to 2028. All right. So it was for a period of time that he wouldn't even be in office for. It's the period of time we're actually living in right now. So as far as on the books, and U.S. funding, the $3.8 billion a year, that's because it's divided in a 10-year period from the $38 billion original military aid package signed by Obama. Now, before, I think it was Bush. I think he signed a $30 billion one. I don't know why Obama increased it. It was probably because of the conflicts. Obama was he was trying to do the Gaza peace treaty with the Israelis and the Palestinians in 2013 or 2014, I think. I forget. And he was trying to do that Iran nuclear treaty in 2015. So what I think is going on is it's kind of this people are, I mean, the media is clearly just trying to pin this on Trump. And I don't want to say I'm like, I'm not the kind of guy that defends every single thing a president does. I mean, I voted for Trump, but I also have my criticisms that I won't share because I don't think they're that important to most people. But yeah, so my point is, why isn't anyone talking about Obama giving Israel a record military aid package for a 10-year period? You know, why do you think everything is always centered on Trump in the media's, and in the optic wise? I thought it was interesting, really, to add on that is when all the Minneapolis or the Minnesota, when ICE was in Minnesota and people were dying, it was around the same time, actually, that Iran was, the IRGC was shooting down protesters in by the thousands. So in America, you see here that CNN is framing ICE and Trump as a fascist dictator, sending in the SS troops into Minneapolis to take out U.S. citizens like Nazis or whatever. And at the same time, they're not even covering what Iran is doing to their people, which is truly a fascist regime. And what's even more interesting, what really pissed me off, and I wasn't really mad, but I was like, yeah, this is typical of the Democratic media apparatus. They were interviewing Iranians and saying that there was one news clip I found CNN posted. They were interviewing Iranians, and they were saying how the Ayatollah is totally peaceful, and there's no there is no real protest going on, or the people that were protesting on the streets were agitators. It was almost.
Wait, hold on. You're adding a fifth point now, because it's you were running on from you had a question, right? And you're kind of running on here, and now I'm losing it.
Yeah.
Can I answer your question?
Okay.
I gotta stop you just a little bit there. Holy run on.
Yeah.
But interesting, pertinent info. But your question was, I think the answer to your question about like why they didn't have that attention on Obama, and it is for Trump. It's a political wedge, and that's not to dismiss it, because the only reason I think you got to be an effective political wedge, you got to be on maybe somewhat factual, right? But these evil people are using it as a wedge, to try and attack Trump, right? They know that people have questions. He said no new wars, it's like, whoa, bingo, boom, run the strategy, political wedge, chaos. I mean, yeah, I think that's why, if you ask me.
Yeah, so you're saying like, so you're saying it's just kind of framing Trump in a poor light? Is that it?
Wherever there is space and room to wedge and obfuscate, there it is. Like, for example, he's like, no new wars, Iran. You could be just very simplistic and say, hey, this guy you voted for, he said no new wars. But it's just not that simple. But for those people, it might be somewhat effective, and it's and so now you're playing the game of politics, right? Now you're playing politics,
right?
But yeah, that is interesting. Yeah. I had no clue. Obama, it was such a big, that he was such a big supporter of Israel. I had no clue. Why do you think that is? If we can go further from that, my general impression, tell me if I'm wrong, what do you think, is that this is proof that it's not a total, like some will even say, see, this is proof of, Jewish capture. I think it's proof it's not. Tell me where I'm wrong here. Isn't it proof that it's not? Because it shows that it shows that there are interests more than just the Jewish interests, right? That prevail in administrations, that prevail, right? They go beyond administrations, eras, etc.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's my point, and that's something the media. Yeah, that's yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. That's really what I was getting at, because it's not even the United States, even the Brits. They have an interest in the Middle East and Israel and funding Israel, because they're basically like the Western democracy in the region that has its finger on the pulse, and it's the idea of spreading. Being able to, it goes back even to the overthrow of the first Shah, when the Brits wanted to take more of Iran's oil, and so the CIA and MI5 helped them out with that. There's definitely so Israel is kind of like the tool that the United States and the British use to kind of keep their finger on the region, and being able to, obviously there's a lot of strategic canals and straits that help with trade and oil. So it's definitely not just the idea, it's not really an administration thing, as you were saying. It's more of just Western interest in the region. And I think it just, all the propaganda around what was going on in Gaza, totally just it changed public perception of Israel. It doesn't help when, I'm not going to go into it, but it doesn't help when CNN broadcasts day in and day out that there's a genocide going on, when, the IDF is just killing terrorists, but they label it as a genocide. It doesn't help. But it definitely played a part in public perception in the region. But yeah, no, you're right. It's not an administration thing, and the numbers show it. So yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I think it's just a bummer, though. You don't see, like, what's his face, the future president, really talking about that, or what previous administrations have funded. If they're really talking about, if he's pushing the narrative that Israel wants to squeeze America for every dime it has, or whatever, and putting it out on Trump, when Obama's funding them and signing all the papers, I don't know why he doesn't take that route. But also, yeah, I mean,
you know what? I have actually know some of this stuff because of him, to be fair. I mean, I think he does. I think he has this. He like, for example, if you ever saw the debate he did with, like, Dinesh D'Souza, yeah, he's very, like, it seems very hardcore maybe on his show on certain things. But when he was talking to Dinesh, he comes off as, like, it's like, yeah, 90% things I'm a normie Republican. It's just these few details that I'm hard on, and I get his rationale and all that. But I'm describing how this realistic view of things that we're talking about. I don't know that kind of a little bit because of stuff he said. Yeah, he comes when he was talking to, like, Dinesh. He's like, basically, it's like he came off, like, way more chill. It was really funny. He's just like, yeah, basically, yeah, Ukraine, the Middle East, yeah, we should own stuff over there and be there. I just think the Jews have too much power, and that's kind of whatever. Anyways, that was an interesting debate.
I see. Yeah, that I didn't watch that one, but no, yeah, I really don't get why people think they have that much power. I mean, if you really think about it, they're so dependent on us. We could just evaporate Tel Aviv if worse comes to worse. It's kind of crazy how people think, like, some blackmail is going to control the government. I mean, really,
it's an interesting statement.
Yeah, it's like you could easily play counterintelligence to that, or counter propaganda.
Yeah.
It's like,
what are you saying with that? Are you saying, like, let's say you're the American government, and it's like your people are starting to get, like, there's more and more politicians in a blackmail ring. You're saying, you're basically saying that's not a losing scenario. That's something that could be, war gamed out. Like, America would never allow that, at least not to a deep degree. Like, a blackmail ring is not bringing down the U.S. government.
Exactly, it's easily counterable.
I never heard that such a statement, but it's an interesting one.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say it's like, oh, it's a piece of cake, but I'm saying, like, like for example, this is kind of similar. I don't know I hear a lot Mark saying about, do you take the $7,000 check from Israel? You hear that line.
Where the Jews
right?
at? Yo, $7K? Like where it at? Where you at?
So here's the thing.
I'm not getting paid for this.
But let me tell you, Nick, I don't know. There's this guy.
I got my Cash App. I'm ready. What you were saying?
Put the Cash App.
If my Cash App's in the description. Hey, let's talk.
Yeah. The guy with the really punchable face that JLP interviewed. Let me try to think of his name. Oh man, he's that really cringe liberal.
I don't want to. I can't. I have to stay silent now.
Damn it!
Because now I'm gonna. If I tell you who it might be, now I want to punch him in the face.
David Pacman.
Oh, I'm familiar with him.
So I don't know if you remember, but in August, I watched this clip. He got something leaked or something, but it was some it was some group related to the DNC. It got leaked that some like dark money group was funding American social media guys like Pac-Man with $8,000 a month. It was back in August of 2025 or 20. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do, kinda.
And you put out this like super cringe, like
not about
they
David Pacman, but
me.
this article you're talking about. I remember because it was that woman that got a lot of attention. That female journalist, Taylor Lorenz.
Oh, I see it on your screen.
Yeah.
On the screen, yeah. This thing, it was back in August. So Pacman put out this really just pathetic video saying that basically he was getting paid, but it wasn't affecting what he was saying, and all this BS. Yeah, Taylor Lorenz. And what I think is interesting
I believe
is
him.
like
he was just taking the money. Maybe he was always thinking that. Maybe he was thinking those things already. He's like, if I can get paid for what I'm saying, bring it on.
Just keep sounding retarded, David, and we'll just keep paying you, dude. Yeah, that's basically what it was. Just have these super dumb liberal takes, and we'll keep paying you. Anyways, what's interesting about that is like 2 or 3 months later, I think maybe it was in October, or I don't know when it started coming out, that Israel was paying media influencers $7,000 a month to shill for them. So all of a sudden, you have this, which, by the way, I don't know if it's true or not. I'm kind of speculating. And all of a sudden, everyone forgets that that the Democrats were on record, or these influencers were on record getting paid $8,000, and all this. But the idea is, it's kind of like it's the psychological warfare, basically, where there's this original, the seed is planted in the population's mind that, there's these payments going on. And then you overlap it with like a similar theme, but in a different direction. And then all of a sudden, everyone forgets about the initial story and latches onto the more popular one. So nowadays, you don't hear anything about Democratic influencers getting paid $8,000 a month, even though that's something that's like on record. All you hear, though, is about any influencer or Republican influencers getting paid $7,000 a month from Israel. So I think that is like an example of psychological, warfare and the power of propaganda. So my point is, going back to the potential of U.S. congressmen or politics being blackmailed by Israel, you could easily counter it. Not easily, but I'm just saying there's the way social media is, it's counterable. The same way that the Democrats, I think, countered or covered up this $8,000 a month propaganda campaign they had going on with this story about Israel, because I don't know where it came from, really. It just came out of the blue. Oh, you're getting paid by Israel $7,000 a month. you really think the Mossad would leak something like that? You know, like, do you think that if they were paying people, it would come out like that from
maybe it's
one
hard
of the
to hide. Maybe
top
it's
intel agencies? Maybe it is.
maybe it's hard to hide.
I'm wrong about that.
You're like you got to kind of advertise it a bit because you got to get people on board. So maybe it's not that hard. But look, I like what you're bringing up because you're adding to what I was saying earlier. What you're describing is what you're describing as a challenge to this very emotional viewpoint, I think, which is just like Jews control everything. It's not even for those who want to express true facts about such a conversation. That's not helping you because as you're proving here right now, it's not just that. And I think there can be a progression to the conversation. I think we can. I think you can progress that conversation. I think you can agree and say, hey, look, this was censored. You know what? This was hard to talk about maybe because there are people with ethnic affinities or whatever. They have like a different group. They end up becoming very good at like defending and getting more for that group, you know? And that's part of what we're seeing. So fine, yeah, but let's progress the conversation. It's not just that. And if you wanted to bring up, I'm just repeating myself now, but if you wanted to bring up true facts about such a conversation and an undue influence, you're not doing yourselves any favors by doing this like knee jerk, like it's just the Jews, it's all Israel's wars. Like again, the person is going to call me, right? That's about to reveal it. No, Nick, this is why you're dumb. It is all that. But here, thank you for that because this is what I was saying. 8,000 going to Democrats, etc. You know, there are other influences. And so I appreciate that, man. Anything else you want to speak on?
Let me think. No. I mean, I'll just say, well, one thing I'll comment on when Hake talks about Bibi, I think, man, I could go in different. I want to go on the religion.
Well, how about you call me again on that?
Yeah. I'll call him again. Yeah, I'll call again. I
Nice.
think my view, obviously, everyone has free speech, but I don't really, I think Hake kind of trolls and stuff like that, but I don't really have, I find it kind of, it's not strange, but it's not that patriotic when we're glazing foreign leaders. You know, I think if you're an American, you should be glazing American leaders. That's just my opinion. Sorry.
You don't think You don't think Xi Jinping's tough?
As men, sure, but just as an American, like that's kind of like Ilhan Omar talking about how Khamenei was like a brother to her. It's like on the same. It's on the same, not the same level, but it comes off similar. If you're an American, I think you should have your allegiance to America.
I think it depends on who you ask.
Yeah,
because it's like Ilhan Omar. You could say to me, well, she's only saying that because she respects the Ayatollah as a tough man. I would not believe you. I would be like, no, I think she has like Muslim allegiances. And then if you're Hake say something like that, I think it's because he's talking about manhood. He's talking about running the world. He's talking about the true definition of respect, which is like it's not even liking someone, but if someone had a knife, for example, you would respect the reach of that knife. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree in that sense,
right?
But in the sense of like, hey, I'm an American. And this is a leader of a different nation. It's like, I don't know. I agree in that sense, Nick. Yeah. But in a sense of like, oh, geez, this is a great leader. It's almost like, just start putting posters of him on your wall,
suspiciously far too much. You're saying, well,
because
maybe Hake is listening, and he's smoking on it.
Yeah, well, I know Hake does a really good job of just like trolling and stuff like that. Like I'll bring up these gruesome like things that happen in Islam, and he'll be like, "Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, Allah was just protecting the prepubescent girls from getting pregnant or whatever." You just so it's kind of dark.
Totally,
humor.
man.
So
Anthony, we spent plenty of time, sir. I gotta let you go.
Yeah. Anyways, appreciate your time, Nick. Take care, bro.
Call me again, man. 888-775-3773. We got Zenny out of Canada. How you doing, sir? You're on the air.
What's up, Nick?
All is well, man.
Okay, wait. Now I got the sound better.
Coming in clear. Yeah. Thanks.
Nice. So what are we talking about, Nick? What are we talking about?
You know what it is.
Today? Talking about Jewish supremacy.
What's going on? Is it really is it really like that? Is it a fight of Jesus versus the I don't know, Jews? Is it really that? Is it going to come down to a final fight, man?
I think
is it like
so.
that?
Well, it's not going to be. It's not going to be just the Jews. But
I don't believe. I don't buy that. That sounds like a comic book. That sounds like an anime. That's anime Christianity. I have to say, sir.
I don't know. I mean, that's kind of what Revelation says. So you gotta.
That already happened.
You got to dig into that. You got to dig into that.
Revelations was talking about stuff that already happened.
All right. Are you Jesse something now, or?
That's
what Jesse says. And
I know, but I'm like kind of
accurate
feeling
about
it though. I'm like, yo, that makes sense though. But yeah, I think that's anime Christianity.
Okay. Well, that's real. I mean, that's what it says in the Bible. That's what I'm saying. It says that Jesus is gonna come back and war against
God didn't
those
say
who
that.
are on the Antichrist side.
God didn't say that. That was Joe.
What do you know?
That was Joe Schmo.
What do you know?
God's
God
son,
says?
maybe, but that wasn't God.
What do you know about what God says?
He didn't say that. Someone wrote that. A person wrote that. Someone's hand, a human hand, wrote that.
Yeah, but the whole Bible was written by human hands. But they
right.
were
You agree with me? Thank you. I rest my case.
Divinely inspired by God and interconnected in ways that only the Bible is, and only could be over that period of time. It could only be a holy book. The fact that certain parts of it call back to other parts that are
God didn't ask the people to fight like
thousands of years older, and then they're predicting the birth of Christ. Like, yeah, okay.
God didn't ask people to fight like this and have a final showdown when their Naruto Jesus comes out and fights the evil.
Bro, you are not authority. You are no authority on what God says. You don't know God.
I'm just not convinced.
You know what Jesse says and you repeat it. I'm not convinced that you have the Holy Spirit within you. Especially when you deny the Bible.
All I'm saying is I'm just not convinced. You're saying it's like
it's not about convinced.
It's going to be a final fight.
It's about
the Christian and the Jews, and it's going to.
It's not about being convinced. It's not a logical.
I don't even think it says that. In fact, I don't know where does it say that actually.
It's having the Spirit within you, so you confirms what the Bible says. You don't have it.
You know what?
That's why it doesn't confirm what the Bible says. In the Bible, but you don't care because you don't care what the Bible says.
Where in Revelation does it say what you're saying?
You only care what Jesse tells you what he says. You only listen
Where
to
in
him,
Revelation does it say what you're saying? Actually, out of curiosity,
I don't know what chapter and verse, but
do you even halfway remember the verse or anything?
No, I don't halfway remember the verse, but it's in there. We could do a whole study of you should do a whole study of Revelation.
What's in there again?
The final fight of Jesus coming back against the Antichrist. That's a big theme in it.
And that's Jews, and that's Israel and Jews and Iran and World War III and Trump and America. That's what that is?
Well, Jews are trying to bring back their version of the Messiah because they don't believe.
Yeah, because they're modern LARPers, like all religion. They're just remixing and bringing it back because it's such an old thing that it will work kind of because people are very simple and they just need an authority. So when you bring back an old religion and these old words from a long time ago and you put them in a new book and you say, hey, check this out, the people are like, wow, Jesus, wow, Jew, these are old words. Yeah, that's a lot of credibility. And then they start a brand new LARP. They start a brand new LARP.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You just called all religion a LARP, so Christianity is a LARP.
To a degree. It's a society. It's a cool LARP though. I really like it. It's an answer to society. It's just a society question. It's just
So
how do you get people to agree?
Did Jesus
How do you
really
get a
exist?
large amount of people to agree to something so that society can hum along? You know what I'm saying?
So Nick, did Jesus really exist and die on the cross?
I didn't. I don't deny that. I think he was a historical figure. No.
Yeah, but did he die on the cross and then was and
I
came
think
back
that
to
all
life 3 days
happened. I
later?
mean, I don't deny that happened. You know.
Okay.
I don't really know, but I think it's not like I have scholarly researched this, but it's not a question I have personally because I think there's plenty of credit. Now, someone might call in and tell me where I'm wrong about it, but my general impression is that we have writings about these people, right? So it's like the same writings we have of like Roman generals. Like it's the same proof. So yeah, those people existed. And I think those events happened. A lot of those did. But
and the fact that he came back from the dead, I mean, that's pretty remarkable. No one else. Actually, there was someone else from the Bible who did come back from the dead. But they say he brought himself back from the dead.
I don't really think deeply on it.
No.
Like I don't personally.
These are the deep questions.
This is how I think about it. Personally, tell me where I'm wrong. I don't. When I think about Jesus and like what he's trying to tell me and what he's trying to impart to me, that he rose again from the dead. I don't know if I'm tripping here, but that he rose again from the dead, I think was like the least of the things he's trying to help get me to remember. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not saying it's
like that's
the
part of
most
the story.
important.
I don't deny it and all that, but out of all the things he wants me to learn and like get from his life and all that, I think that he rose from the dead is kind of far away.
I think
the top stuff.
I think he asks us to believe in that because it proves his divinity. And it proves
this is where you lose me.
It proves that he died for our sins.
Yeah, I can believe that too, though.
Yeah.
Like when he's telling us to overcome the world and all these false things like religion, they all came up with this after he died, and it's like, yeah, that's him dying for our sins and all that. That makes so much sense. But anyways,
but you'd only know that from the Bible. You wouldn't know where he said any of that unless it came out of the Bible.
But his resurrection and all that is not something I have to think about for that.
No jot or tittle from the word will be. He said he was fulfillment of the word. He never denied that the Bible was something that you should know.
I agree. I agree. He fulfilled. Yeah.
So I'm not like, trust me, I'm not like the biggest. It's tough for me to read the Bible. Sometimes I don't want to. It just can be kind of boring. Like
so then why are you so into the prophecy
over and over again?
Because why are you so into the prophecy, though?
It seems to be coming true.
Hey, that's what you say.
Hey man, we'll see how this war goes. If this war isn't over in 2 months, World War III.
Dude, nah, man, just making stuff up.
No, you don't think so? If it's not over in 2
I'm not
months,
saying there's no war. I'm not saying that there's no pathway to like bigger and bigger conflict, but I'm saying like this prophecy thing you got going on, like.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay.
There's been wars before, man, and guess what? You could have said that then too. You could have said when there was a war 1,000 years ago. You could have been like, wow. In Revelations it says there will be wars, and that the nations will go against nation. Like you could say that literally at any time.
Right.
I think.
I feel you. I definitely feel you on that. And there's definitely like something from my whole life was kind of like this feeling of like, it can't possibly be like my lifetime in which like all this stuff is going to happen. Like the odds seem to be against the idea that just during my lifetime is going to be World War III and, Armageddon and all this stuff. But hey,
yeah,
I don't know. It could be.
The apocalypse is just the end of human society. That's all the Bible's talking about.
Yeah, but the end of society, the end of human society, the end of humanity, I guess, would be the end of us as we know
but
it.
It has nothing to do with, I don't think, about God and hell and heaven. When the Bible is talking about apocalypses and stuff, it's just talking about like our society, like our physical human, like America ending. Like America ending, that's the apocalypse. You know what I mean? Society.
Well, I think apocalypse means just like the world as we know it ending and never ever having a chance of coming back. That's what Armageddon is for me.
Fair enough.
But like,
I think humanity is gone. I think they wrote about Armageddon and apocalypse in the Bible, and it's happened. In fact, multiple times over history. And then humanity was like, "What? I thought that was the apocalypse," and it's like, "There's more."
I mean, I think Revelation says the final one will be of fire, right? It's like there was. He said he would never flood the world again, so the final one will be a fiery, explosion-y end.
That's how you write a good story. Yep.
People think that means nuclear bombs.
I think that's how you write a good story.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best story ever told. It's the Bible.
I think that's how you write a really good story. The end will be fire. That's a pretty good prediction.
I don't get it. So, what do you think? The Bible is just one big story that's not true?
No, it's very true. It's full of so much wisdom. It's anyone who's rejected it has fallen. Like, it's proof that these are the things that we figured out that are non-negotiable. It's proof that for example, think about those that are rejecting it now. They're like, we're progressives. There's no men and women. There's no all that. It's like you're rejecting load-bearing walls. Like, no, there's no. Right. It's non-negotiable. So no, it's in fact very full of wise, true things. And should you not follow it, the apocalypse comes. But I think it's a human invention, though. We're talking about human things.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think it has a little bit more weight as it's not just a human invention, because like you said, like when you don't follow it, or when nations go away from the Bible and the Word and God, like the West has, look at how it's being judged with all this like progressivism, all the invasion of these different foreign peoples, and just the seemingly there's no way to do anything about it.
Yeah,
the demographic time bomb that Hector was talking about.
You're absolutely right about that. Yeah, it's been written about, and it's like happening, and nobody wants to listen.
And it even says that in the Bible.
And that's not me saying there's no God. I'm just saying that's religion. That's. I think you can have a higher mind. I think you can be above religion. And I'm saying that's not saying that religion is bad, but I think you can have a higher mind, and I think in that way, in that pursuit, you do get closer to a real God. To the true God.
I feel you. Like, religion to me, like having a religion as a negative aspect to me would be just doing things like the Pharisees did, right? You're just doing things
right,
like you're just trying to be good in order to
right.
For
please
tradition,
go on.
And you're trying to. You're just trying to be good in order to impress God. Like you're trying all your works. You're like doing all these things, all these mitzvahs, all these different, things you have to do, pray 7 times a day,
That's so true.
Do this, do that. And it's just like, God, it's never going to be enough because you sinned here, you sin there, you sin there. In between doing all these things, you probably sin. So it'll never be enough, right? So that's why there's a freeing power from Jesus where he says that, I've died for your sins and there's nothing you can do. It's only on me. And you have to believe fully on me in order to, fully get your salvation. Yeah.
Now you're making some sense.
Okay. We can agree on that at least.
Zenny, anything else you want to speak on? I know you had something maybe else on your mind, and I don't want to. I don't want to get to it. We have a few minutes here.
I don't know. I mean, we were going to talk some Judaism stuff, but
I don't know. I think we talked.
We went on some tangents. We talked. It was good.
Sir, can you call me again?
Yeah, brother. Have a good one.
Take care. Amazing. 888-775-3773. I want to get back to my calls. Thank you for the patience. Let's see here. What are y'all saying? Thank you, Eric. I appreciate your coffee. He's very generous. buymeacoffee.com/anchorbaby. He says, NJF, you talk about Fuentes, I have to assume, has repeatedly stated there needs to be consequential change on immigration, feminism, and foreign policy for him to support the GOP. The GOP fails to create the change necessary to preserve the people and values that made this country strong. Is this a Christian nation? Are whites going to remain the majority? Are women in the kitchen and making babies? Has anyone said no to organized Jewry? Yeah, and that's why that's why he's interesting. That's why he's like, I'm just a guy. I'm gonna just speak in my mind, and no one's gonna stop me. And if that has an influence or has a weight to it, then so be it. I think that's also a charge on those who see it otherwise and want to maybe whine and complain. It's just the Jews control everything. I have no voice and all that. You're you're like, right? There's no credibility to that, and is even negative to maybe someone who like a Fuentes who's trying to be serious about it. Because how do you explain these things? Are whites going to remain a majority? Are women that the America is not the way you deem it to be so? Is because there are people in it that don't want it to be that way. And so there you now have the realistic scenario, which is people vote how they want, and not everyone thinks like you. And I don't like it because there's a bunch of people who hate America and all that. But to like cry and say it has to be a different way, what you're decrying is the vote of your fellow citizens. And hey, I have my questions about that too. I don't think everybody should be allowed to vote, for example. But this is where we are. And it doesn't, and nothing about the American situation, political situation seems set in stone and total. So for those who are like, it's just the Jews, like, I don't know. I'm seeing that it's not total. It's not like, fine, there's an influence and they didn't want to talk about it for years. Can we move on? I'm not trying to be mean to those people, but there's an influence, fine, but it's not total. It's not total. So it's nebulous. There's moves, there's coalitions, and there's things happening. And the 7K is not just coming from one side. You know what I'm saying? Like, am I making things up here, folks? All right, so I want to get back to my calls. What else here? You know, I had that, man, maybe I'll just save this for tomorrow since Friday is fun and all that. That Marine protest. I got some interesting things. Let's see if we'll get to it. But first, thanks for the patience. Rick out of Hampton, Virginia. Let's get to Rick. How you doing, sir? You're on the air.
What's up, brother Nick? What's happening with you?
All is well, no complaints.
Well, man, shoot. What do you think, man? We got the Texas senator for Texas, and I think the state attorney is got to do a runoff. Who do you think Trump going to endorse?
I have no clue. Who is it between?
It's between
Ken
John
Paxton?
Cohen. He's out. Yeah, Paxton.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to say John Cohen from. He's already in the Senate now. The Republicans want them to endorse John Cohen because they believe he has a better chance of winning. Because that Taralico guy, he may have beaten Jasmine Crockett, but I think he can make it a run.
Yep. Tellerico. We're talking Texas. Midterms are here, and they're going to pick who they'll run for the Republican side. I gotta say, I don't know anything about John Cornyn or Ken Paxton. I have no clue. And I think I have seen a lot of the commentary though, and they're saying that whoever they pick, it'll be a blowout. At least some are saying this for Tellerico because apparently the guy is a total progressive, hates white people. They're revealing the texts, they're revealing the tweets, and they're saying this is not a good replacement for Crockett. You know, this is basically another Crockett. It's in the bag for the Republicans, but I'm not so sure. Demographics have changed heavily in Texas, and a white, well-spoken, not always blackity black like Jasmine Crockett might be pretty competitive. That's my take.
That's what I'm saying too. And matter of fact, is he Hispanic?
This Tellerico?
Yeah.
I have no clue. I don't even know who this guy is.
Yeah, you can't all this anti-whites. I don't know what it is, man. Everybody has contributed to this country, man. And I love all my colors, brothers and sisters, white, black, green, whoever, man. And I don't know why it always comes from the Democratic Party that be pushing all these different just keeping people aggravated, mad at each other. Because they know if Christians come together, man, the sky's beyond the limit if we come together and stop having these Democrats having us fighting against one another.
What do you think about what was I going to say? You think it's competitive there in Texas? You think it'll?
You know, man, I wouldn't underestimate anything, man, because folks are so emotional. They never research anything. So you have a whole bunch of people voting for folks out of ignorance. You know, like, for example, you have most black people always complain about high taxes, but they vote for the party that keep their taxes high. It's just mind-boggling, you know?
Thoughts on voting Democrat to stick it to the Republicans?
You talk about if blacks vote Democrat?
Just in general, I'm really talking about maybe more of a Republican, someone a real supporter of the Republicans, Trump maybe, wanting to. What do you think about protest vote to stick it to the Democrats? I mean the Republicans.
Yes, you saying, Nick, if the blacks vote Democrat?
No,
to stick it to the Republicans. Oh, I'm sorry.
My apologies. We missed each other here a little bit. I was bringing up, I don't know if you're familiar, but some are voting Democrat to protest the Republicans. They're unhappy with the Republicans and that they're not delivering.
You know, I think the Republicans are delivering, but the problem is the media drowns everything out. Like I said, a lot of people don't research nothing for themselves. Most people are intellectually lazy. People are just emotionally and angrily they just hear other Democrats repeat the same mess and they just run with it. You get what I'm saying, Brother Nick?
Totally.
And that's pretty much all they do. Like I said, when they say you can't talk politics or religion to people, that's only to liberals. Because most times you talk to a conservative, we just listen in this dialogue, you know. But when you talk to liberals, they get to hollering and screaming, want to cancel you out. You know what it is.
Yep. Oh, I know. Do you particularly like one of these two guys, Cornyn or Kent Paxton?
You know, I can go with either one of them. Whoever wins, I can vote for one of them if I was a resident of Texas. But the Republicans want President Trump to endorse John Cornyn because they believe they don't want to take any chances.
And are you familiar with what they mean by that? Taking chances?
Well, I think John Cornyn. I think this would be like his third term or fourth term or something like that.
Ah, I see.
And so they just saying they would like for Trump to endorse him because he has a better chance of winning.
He's already there.
Exactly. So
cool.
Trump haven't endorsed anybody yet. President Trump hasn't, but the Republicans want him to endorse John Cornyn.
Darn, I don't know anything about them, but
me neither.
I might have
but
to know. I'm gonna find out. Yeah. What are they
I
saying?
will have to.
Who's getting primaried?
Yeah.
What's the direction of the Republican Party? I'm gonna try and find out. But thanks, Rick.
Yes, sir. And what do you? Matter of fact, like in California, I can't see how California keep voting for Gavin Newsom. They just keep voting for that guy. Oh. Good thing he can't run no more.
Yeah, it's the same old. Is there any Republican presidents in California? They are, but outside of the cities, I hear like Huntington Beach and stuff like that. They're all MAGA out there.
Oh yeah, I was about to ask, are there any Republican mayors in California?
I don't know about mayors, but I'm familiar with areas. I've heard of areas that are, not in the cities, and that's how it is across the country. Even in a blue state, so to speak, it's like blue cities, but Republican surroundings. But I hear places like Huntington Beach, for example, they got money out there, but they're also heavily MAGA, like Republican. That's here in California. I think a little bit of a drive away from LA. Like an hour, I think, maybe two.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's like an hour or two drive from LA. I think. This area I'm talking about.
Yeah. I think it is. I think it is because I always what's that, Huntington Beach? Yeah, San Diego used to be conservative. They
really? I didn't know that.
San Diego. Yes, sir. They had a Republican mayor one time, but that went down the waste drain. Now San Diego used to be a beautiful city, man. Now it's looking like you see poverty everywhere now, and San Diego went down, man. I was stationed out there before.
I mean, Reagan came out of California, no?
Yeah.
Democrats brag.
Right.
Democrats openly brag about how demographic change has secured this Democrat stronghold in California. Like they openly talk and brag about this. How immigration and the changing of with the diversity, how that has locked in their Democrat stronghold.
Yep, and I just think, man, do you think the Republicans need to do a better job in campaigning in Hispanic and Black community areas, even if they know they don't have a chance, but still at least compete in there?
Do they? Don't they? I've heard this before, but maybe that may have changed.
They just started doing it. They just started doing it. Trump started doing it, man. That's President Trump started
so they're working
doing
on
it. And so they at least got 25% of the black vote. That's progress, man. I'm just saying, the Republicans, to me, they should at least compete for all the votes, all of them.
Well, I think that's changed with Trump, at least to some degree. They got the dusty wing of the, I don't know, POC outreach wing of the GOP. I think has been given life under Trump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Rick, man, I appreciate your call. Can you call me again?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Well, love you there, man. Thanks for taking my call, brother Nick, man. Keep spreading the truth, man. We gotta keep spreading the truth till we wake these people up, man. We gotta wake them up out this diabetic coma.
Big time. Call me again, Rick.
Yes, sir. Love you guys. Be blessed.
Amazing. Let's see. Last bit of the show. Let's keep it rolling. Is this Maze?
Yes, it's me.
Maze,
Rick,
Dayton, Ohio. A pleasure. Welcome back.
Yes. Rick is so lost.
Tell me
why.
He
is very lost. He's following somebody else. If you're going to vote, you choose what you're voting for, not a party. The Democratic and the Republican Party are two of the same. So if whatever happened in Texas was somebody interfering in the election, you're gerrymandering and you're doing everything else, why are they doing all of this and just letting people vote for their interests and what they are voting for? He probably don't even know who in office in the state he lives in. All that there in California, don't know nothing about it. Never been there. It used to be a beautiful place.
Well, maybe Rick is listening.
Don't speak for nobody but himself. Only if you just say,
Well, maybe Rick is listening and he takes maybe the advice. Maybe think for yourself. Don't just be it's just Republican. It's just Republican. Maybe he's hearing you right now, and if it's true, maybe he's taking it in. But wait, hold on.
And next time he's on the air, tell him to close his car door and stop having it ringing in all the people's ears with his loud voice.
Ooh, I was beta there. Maybe I should have called that out. But listen, Maze,
it's irritating to the ear.
If your advice / criticism is true, let's assume it's true for a moment. Wouldn't it be just as true for you in this very moment?
I'm saying he's always blaming the Democrats for everything. The Democrats are not there by themselves. Both of them are the same people, doing the same thing. Because if they were doing the stuff for America, it wouldn't be in the mess that it's in.
Right, but then you turned around and said they're stealing. You didn't say steal, but they're the Republicans or whatever, gerrymandering and messing up elections in Texas.
Are they doing that?
Hey, aren't you just spouting the Democrat line there?
I'm asking you a question. Are they doing that?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Are they redistricting so people cannot run in a district that they live in, and then they go to try to do something else? Are they doing that?
Why do you say it's for that reason?
It is for the reason. There is no other reason they're doing it.
What about
in one district? The next time you turn around, you're in another.
What about the huge?
For me to be moving
what about the huge changes in population? Do you know that? Are you?
Well, the census only come how many years?
Yeah, but there's been a huge change in population in Texas. Are you familiar with immigration? Are you familiar with that? It's been very unfair. You may not live in Texas, but it's been very unfair for people. Your areas start changing. You got all sorts of different people.
Yeah, why did they change it now? Why didn't they change it later? For some reason.
Because they wanted to, and also because have you seen all those people? Have you seen all the people that have entered Texas? What? It's a bit of an emergency.
It wasn't an emergency.
Yes.
What was the emergency?
Immigration.
Because the one man from Texas that died, they never replaced him, and the governor sit on his butt and didn't do nothing.
Wait, what?
So how is that a bit of an emergency? That's an emergency. When you don't replace somebody that died to send him back to Congress, he died, so it was just empty seat.
Isn't that like negative to the
Republicans?
Republicans?
Who's doing it? So Rick needs to stop listening to Fox and Newsmax and use his brain and do some research and find out why he's voting, because he don't even know why he's voting himself. Someone a Democrat and a Republican ought to be ashamed of himself.
So you don't vote. So what are you just like? Have you?
I don't belong to neither one of those parties, and I don't take up for neither one.
So you don't vote at all?
Yes, I do vote. Just because I don't vote for neither one of those parties don't mean that I don't vote.
So you vote independent?
Yes, I do.
You vote, and who's like? I'm not familiar with that. Are there like independent candidates or something?
Do some research so you'll know. I'm not going to be like Rick, try to feel somebody's head.
So you don't vote for any Democrats?
Excuse me?
You don't vote for any
Democrats? I voted for
Democrats?
Democrat and Republican. But I still think they all both the same. I would cut up the same page. Because what happened yesterday?
And do you generally vote one way?
I generally vote for my interest and what the person is making a change, not for somebody that's making a mess out of stuff and then turn around and tell me that they're not doing it.
Right on.
That's what I vote for. So when Rick finds his head to do that, then he can talk. But he's not there.
No, I think he's.
No, he's not there.
I think he's got enough info.
He's not there.
He's just a different kind of guy, you know. I think he's got plenty.
I'm not in love with a party.
I think he has like plenty of info. Like he's got enough. You know, he's convinced. He's like, Democrats hate America. They hate America. They're totally
talking about nothing. That's what he got.
Huh?
He got the gift for gap for talking about nothing from Newsmax and Fox.
I think he's made it clear. I think he's clear. I think it's not maybe your standard. It's not maybe your standard of evidence, but he's convinced. And I can agree with the rationale. Are you going to tell me? Are you going to tell me that there's any Democrat that loves America? They're okay with open borders.
Excuse me? What is open? That's a what do you call a way is just being in the way open borders. So what if it's open borders? What is supposed to harm inside and somebody getting in their head that they're doing something to them? But then you all over in other countries just bombing them up from them same people that you talk about, but now they don't have to live it up.
Right?
What?
You heard her. You heard her yourself, folks. I don't need to say it. She said it herself.
So that's what I'm saying.
She said it herself. And this is why Rick doesn't need more info. He doesn't need to get into all the nitty gritty.
That's what he just knows
get out of a party. He just knows this. He's like, well, I'm not with that. That's too far for me.
Talking about God and all this crazy.
That's all I need to know. Open borders. Right. That's too far for me. I'm out. So I can understand the rationale.
I know the truth here, Rick. Somebody needs to tell you stop fashioning that because it's not working. Tell me who people vote for. People don't vote for parties. They vote for their interest for the money that they put out in taxes, and then they still don't get it.
So are you done? So are you done with voting?
That Republican who?
So are you done with? Are you like maybe not an accelerationist? But
I'm not going to stop voting because I had a right to.
So you still agree with the system? You believe that we can vote our way out of this?
No, you can't.
And so what are you going to do,
until you find the right people in there to kill some of this mess that we're looking at.
What did you say? Kill?
No, I said cure move to the right people and cure some of this mess.
I was like,
that we're
don't
looking
say
at.
that. I was like, don't say that.
We're not party. Because you listen with a party, you're gonna be in a mess. Depending on the party.
So you've gone radical. So no wait, but
you're
saying you still vote. I understand.
Yes, I do.
No, I can understand some of that.
Why would I not vote? As long as I got the right to, but they're trying to take that too.
Who? In what reality are you living in, Maze?
The same one you live in.
The Voting Act already happened, Maze.
Yeah, it happened, but so what?
It's in fact,
you got people interfering in elections. Nobody's saying that.
You got too much stuff.
What happens to people?
The blacks are getting too much.
Nick,
I don't know if maybe you're stuck somewhere, but
no.
The blacks got
when they interfere in elections?
The blacks got more than enough.
What does black got to do with it?
What rights are they not? What rights are being challenged?
That became,
what rights for black people are being challenged?
We're supposed to be 13% of the population, but what are we being represented by?
Name one right the blacks that they're trying to take away for blacks.
Well, the one right.
Name one.
The right to vote. To put all kind of obstacles in the way.
Who's trying to take away blacks' right to vote?
I don't know. You figure that out and tell me.
You're the one who said it.
But we got to have an act.
Moving
That's
on.
One thing.
You were saying?
When black people got to have an act. CWP don't have to have nothing. They can just go vote. That's the difference, and you don't even have that right neither. So you tell me about it. And so Rick get that one.
Maze, don't act high and mighty. You didn't answer that last question. No, that don't look good.
I did.
I'm being nice and moving on. But don't act tough. You said they're taking away their rights, and I say name one, and you couldn't. Let's move.
I did.
I'm being nice and moving on.
I know you're moving on because I just said they have the right to vote. We got to act to vote. So if they take that away, it's not going to even work anymore.
Right.
So that's the difference of what I just said. You just didn't catch it. And tell Rick to go tell his people to stop showing all this bombing and all this stuff because it's not good for the children. Is that like it's something cute? That's nothing cute to sit and to watch it on TV all day, every day, every channel. So
you know that.
What?
Moving on. Whatever, Rays. We heard him in a vehicle. We heard him moving around. Oh, Maze, bye-bye. You have a nice day. Moving on, anyways. Maybe I missed it. I thought she was saying that he's just sitting around watching TV. What did I just do? Did I just do 12 minutes of fighting Maze over Rick? What did I just do? Hold up. Oh, what did I just do? I'm on the ropes again. I gotta stay away with Maze. Did I just do 12 minutes of defending another person who's not even here? He was in a vehicle, Maze. You heard the car. All right, folks. I hope you enjoyed the show. We got some interesting stuff for tomorrow, so make sure you tune in. Friday style with the Anchor Baby, and that will be after Open Line Friday with Jesse Lee Peterson, the Hake Report, the Fallen State, and then, of course, the American Anchor Baby. Thanks for being with me today. We did the topics, the calls, the super chats, and all that. I shall see you tomorrow. Like I said, peace. Take care. Oh, little Nick too. He's got to say bye. Bye.
The views, information, thoughts, and opinions expressed during this show are the individual's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of the JLP Network or Bond. Their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. The material and information presented here is for general information purposes only. The JLP Network and Bond name and all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owner, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service.